Yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, you always loved what you did, but you talk in the book about getting to a point where you hit a very big growth trajectory and kind of losing a little bit sight of that, right? How did you, talk to us again about how you handled that.
Well, that was an interesting time. So if you've ever been, I tell people, it's fascinating to be in a hyper-growth environment because it is exciting and it's fun, but it is scary as heck because every day you come in and something's going to break because you've grown and you grow faster than you can keep up with it. And I remember people literally running in my office, wringing their hands and saying, Elise, you know that problem we solved 3 months ago? Well, now it doesn't work because we've outgrown whatever that process or that headcount or those systems or whatever it was that worked for the size we were, but when we were growing so fast. So what we did is we grew over 500% in 5 years. And the funny part about it, Mary, is that it was between 2008 and 2013, which, as we all know, was not a typical time for people to grow in a recession like that, and which made it even stranger because I had nobody to turn to benchmark against because nobody I knew was really growing dramatically. And most people were really struggling or having to rethink their business entirely. And we were growing like crazy for a lot of reasons. But it did really it was one of my darkest moments as a leader because when they would come right into my office and want to know what do we do, I had no idea what to do. And I kept telling myself, but you're the leader, you're supposed to know what to do. You're supposed to have the answers. Buck stops here. I think, but what do you do when you don't know the answer? So I thought, well, do I just, stand up loudly and just declare an answer? And if I wave my arms enough, I'll convince everybody I have the right idea.
Right.
I thought I just can't do that. They'll be able to see on my face. They'll say, she's just faking it. She doesn't know. So what I decided was, it's okay to say you don't know, but you can't end the sentence there. You must do whatever it takes to find out. And the best leaders then invite their people to say, let's figure it out together. What's the right thing to do? And in all honesty, what I realized was it wasn't that I wasn't smart enough. It wasn't that I wasn't working hard enough. I was all those things. It was that I had a gap in knowledge. And that the good news about that was you can fill a gap in knowledge. Because I was a great public relations professional. I had a master's degree and I'd been in the field by that time 15 or 20 years. So I knew my stuff, but I wasn't a classically trained business management professional. I didn't know how to run a company. And by this time we were a multi-million-dollar company and we needed systems and we needed technology and we needed an HR manual. We needed all this stuff, and all of a sudden there was this huge house of cards that I was afraid was just going to come crashing in because I didn't know how to build a company that could scale. So the good news there was I was able to get that knowledge filled. I went to an executive education program at Dartmouth. It was just a week-long program. And I tell people, you don't have to go to Dartmouth, although they had a fantastic program called Growing Your Business to Scale. But I know it's perfect. But you go anywhere. Go figure out what gap of knowledge you have and get it filled. And there is no shame in that. And actually what you do is you role model to your people what it means to be a learning leader. And that nobody knows everything. You can't know it all, know? And even people who say, well, I think I know everything about my industry there is to know. If you blink in these days, tomorrow, it'll all change.
Exactly.
And so you need to be a lifelong learner. And that allows people to raise their hand and say, well, I don't know either, but I want to find out. How do I grow? How do I learn? Let's figure this out together. And it invites more of a journey mindset about growing and building a company and figuring things out together as you go.
That's really great. And I think it shows, too, that you were strong enough in who you were, but humble enough to say that you didn't understand some of it, right?
Well,
and able to...
it's humbling not to know.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know. But yes, I agree, though. And it was...